Okay, so actually, I want to do it. I want to do this part with you guys. Am I gonna ask you guys definitions? No, but you need to know what you're trying to look for. For the first one right here, which one is the centroid? Jonathan. The the fourth one from the fourth triangle. Yeah, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. Five. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. And what is the centroid again? Yep. It's where all the medians. Right, all three medians, which means this right here. How many medians is in a circle? Sorry, in a triangle. 3. That's right. Okay, so I have this median, I have this median, I have this median, and so where they meet, that's called your centroid. Which one shows a right bisector? William. The fourth one, right. And when you have 3 right bisector like this, what is it called? Circumcenter. Okay. So that means which one is altitude? Rasman? The second one, right. I don't have that diagram here, but when you have 3 altitude meeting each other, what is that called? The orthocenter. Good. Okay. And then obviously this one is just distant, the chord. Question. Is orthocenter going to be on the test? Yeah. Why? Why? Same way. If you know how to find the equation of a median, you know how to find the equation of a right bisector, you know how to find the equation of altitude. Okay. Okay. And also the other thing that we talked about, Caden. All right. The line that goes through the right bisector that goes through the chord. What's so special about it? Cindy? Goes through the center of the circle. So any chord. Okay, when you draw a right bisector through the chord, it always goes through the center of the circle. Okay. So let's pick up number 2. Number 2. Okay. Quite a few steps in this one. Okay, so you are trying to verify that is the point 2, 3, the circumcenter of the triangle with vertices H, I, and J. So first thing is you want to draw your triangle, and then this is why you need to know what these terms mean. I'm not asking for the definition, but you need to know what you're looking for. So again, what is circumcenter? Yep. Right bisectors. So you're looking for the right bisectors of this side, right bisector of this side, right bisector of this side. So first step is finding the midpoint, finding the slope of I and J. So this is point I, this is point H, this is point J. So finding the slope of I and J gave me -1. And so negative reciprocal would be this. So it's +1. Midpoint of I and J. When you sub in the values, you'll get -1/2 and 1/2. When you graph it, you do want to try to put it in to just roughly to see if it makes sense. So -1/2 and +1/2. So right here. Does this look like the midpoint between I and J? Yep. Okay, so I know I'm on the right track. After I have this point and I know the slope of this right bisector, I can substitute it into y equals mx plus b, find out what b is, and so I get my equation right here. Y equal x plus 1. Now it was asking, is 2, 3 on this right bisector? So when you sub it in left side equals right side, I do get that. So that means the point 2, 3 is on this right bisector. Now, is it enough to just check it once? No. How many times do we have to do it? 3 times, yes. Okay, but and then we'll do the second one. So the second one right here, JH. On the test, I'm not going to ask you guys to do it 3 times because that will just be waste of time. Okay, so JH right here. So doing the same thing, exact same thing, finding the slope, negative reciprocal slope, finding the midpoint, plugging it into y equals mx plus b. So then you have your equation right here. Step in the point 2 and 3, and I get left side equals right side. So that means this point is also on the second right bisector.
If we don't do it 3 times, how do we know that 2 is the circle?
You have to do it 2, 3, but on the test, I might just ask you to do it once. Okay. Lastly, right here, again doing it for the 3rd time between H and J, do the slope, negative reciprocal slope, and then do the midpoint. Check with your diagram that the midpoint is at 1 and 5. Looks like it. Plug it in, y equals mx plus b. You have your equation right here. And so when you sub in the point one last time, 2, 3, you'll see that left side equals right side as well. So since 2, 3 is on all 3 right bisectors, what does that mean? Yep.
2, 3 is the circumcenter.
So 2, 3 is, in fact, the circumcenter. Okay. Okay. So as I said, yes, this question itself probably took you at least 15 minutes to do. If I ask this one question on the test, you will not have enough time to do the rest of the test. So if you see a question like this, I will probably just ask you to show me once. Okay?
How many questions are you time?
What do you mean by? Okay, so number 3 right here, draw the triangle. So I have the triangle, and then I want to determine the coordinates of the midpoint. So when I do the midpoint formula, I get this and this. I want to verify that these 2 lines are parallel. So Leandro, if 2 lines are parallel, what does that mean?
They have the same slope.
Same slope. Good. So that means you have to do the slope of these 2 midpoints and the slope of these 2 midpoints. And when you do that, you'll see that both of them equals 1 over 2. Okay. So that means they are parallel. Okay. The second part of it says verify that the length is twice as long. So looking at this, does this look like it's twice as long as this? It doesn't really look like it, but it is. All right. So again, when we talk about length, what formula are we referring to, Gavin?
X2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared.
Okay, which is the distance formula. Okay, so I want to find the distance of this distance of this RQ, which is square root 180, and then distance of this, which is square root 45. Now, if you look at this, okay, 45 and 180 is not double, it's actually 4 times. Remember, this is under a square root, so it's not just the number doubling. So what you can do is you can actually on your calculator do root 45 and you get about 6.7. And then what about root 180? Square root 180, you get about 13.4. Now, are they double each other? Yes, they are. Okay. So but just because like you see this, I don't want you to think that you did something wrong. Okay, because square root of the number is not just double. Okay. And then after you do this, you make sure you do a conclusion. So like therefore the length of RQ is double the length of YZ. Yeah.
Hypothetically, how many marks should we work on?
This question?
Yeah.
5. So 1 mark for finding the midpoint, slope, distance. Okay. Number 4. Certify that these points are on the circle. So what should I see on my graph? Circle, right. So just because I gave you 3 points, you're not drawing a triangle, you're drawing a circle. We actually did this exact question on Friday or Thursday or Friday. So to find the to verify that it's the center, there's 2 ways that you could do it. One way is you could find the equation of the circle, and then plug this in. Or second way is you know that the distance between each of the point to the center should be the same. All right, and so Gavin?
I have a question. Why is part B part of the question? Because isn't it not just the same as part A?
Yeah, just to make sure that you guys know that you can make that connection. All right, so distance between, let's say, D to C. All right, x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Oh yeah, remember tomorrow, once you get the test, what is the first thing that you should do actually?
Write your name.
Okay, write your name. That definitely, that is a very good thing to do. Second, so then write down all the formulas. Okay, so and because there are quite a few, I don't want you guys to mix up with like the x and the y's and so forth. So when you write it all out together, it's better. Okay. So between D and C, x2 minus x1, and then y2 minus y1. Alright, so then you get 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, so you get square root of 25, which means you get 5. Alright, you do the same thing for DC, EC, and FC, and you'll see that all of them gives you a length of 5, so you know that that point is on the center.
But the radius is 5, so wouldn't it be 5 to the power of 2?
Okay, so the radius, okay, if you take a look at this as well, so notice this, you just found the length of this line, which is essentially the radius of your circle. So you know that the radius is 5. If I were to write the equation, all right, so if I were to write the equation of this circle, remember is x minus h and y minus k equals r squared. Because the circle is not centered at 0, 0. So the equation of this is x plus 2 squared, y plus 3 squared equals r squared, which is 25. Okay, and it turns into a plus because this is negative 2 and negative 3. So that's why it's plus. Do you need to write this on the test tomorrow? No. Tomorrow, remember the test is only if it's on 0, 0. When do you have to do this where it's not at 0, 0? Grade 11.
So every time it's at 0, 0?
Yeah.
So, like if all the distance is the same from the center, that means just write the radius is 5.
Yep. Okay. Next one. This one proves that 3, 4 is the centroid of a triangle. All right. So centroid. What is centroid again, William? Medians, right? So if you take a look here, so median is midpoint to the vertice, midpoint to the vertice, midpoint to the vertice. So technically, it should be right here. All right. Centroid is the one that you can have a formula for. Okay, so this is the formula for centroid, and you can see it's at 3 and 4. Okay. If you see a question like this and it just asks you to find the centroid, how many marks do you think this will be worth?
3. 1.
1. Right. So this will be 1 mark because all you're doing is using the formula, plugging in numbers in a formula. All right. If I say fortify it in your diagram, how many marks is that?
2.
Fortify it in the diagram? By just looking at the diagram? By just showing that, like coloring that point on the diagram? How many points?
3. 2.
1. Okay, 1 point.
What do you mean? Like, in total or in single one?
A single mark just to show that. Just drawing the diagram. Just drawing a diagram. All right. Now, what if I say this part right here? All right. Find the equations of the medians and then substitute the point into the equation. How many marks do you think that part is going to be worth?
3.
At least
2.
when you have to find equations of medians. Let's say all 3.
3.
At least, okay. So like maybe around like 5 or 6 points. All right. So this would be like 1 mark. This diagram would be 1 mark, and then the one where you have to find all the equations and medians, about 5 to 6 marks. All right. So on the test tomorrow, if you see something like this, how much time should you be spending on this part?
5 minutes.
Out of 1 mark?
30 seconds.
So 1 minute. All right. How much time should you spend on the diagram?
1 minute.
1 minute. All right. How much time should you spend on this? At least 7 minutes. Okay. Okay. So that's how you know how much work I'm looking for. Take a look at the marking scheme. See how much work you are supposed to do. Okay. To find the median, remember you're looking for the midpoint, slope, and then plugging it in to find B to find the equation. Okay. Next one. You just pause first. Number 6, draw a quadrilateral with these points. Verify that the quadrilateral is the rectangle. So remember rectangle, you know the properties of it, so you know what you have to prove. Right? So you know that in a rectangle, 2 sides are equal in length, 2 sides are equal in length. So that means you have to do the distance formula. So when you do the distance between A and B and C and D, you get root 13. And then distance between B and C and A and D, you'll get root 52. Right? But that doesn't mean it has to be a rectangle. It could mean that it's a parallelogram, for example. So then, what's the second property? Slopes has to be negative reciprocal. Okay? Or the diagonal of them are equal in length and bisect each other. Either or, whichever way you want. Sure, you can do that. Okay, so let's just say we did this way. The diagonals are equal in length. Okay, so find the diagonals. And then also bisect. What does the word bisect mean?
Crossover, like the middle.
At the middle. So what are you trying to find?
No, midpoint.
Midpoint, right? Notice you said middle, so midpoint, right?
I fixed myself very quickly.
Okay, if you find the midpoint of this diagonal and this diagonal, you'll find that they are at the same spot, which is around negative 1.5 and negative 1. Yep.
If we find the distance of the diagonals or the length, we also have to find the midpoint.
Yep.
And if we find the slopes, you don't have to find the midpoint, right?
Yes. Because if you find a slope and that you have 2 pairs of different length, then you know it's not a square.
So when we find slopes, we have to do all 4 slopes on the rectangle?
Yes.
Okay, so then diagonals are easy.
Either or, as long as you can prove to me that it's a rectangle and nothing else. Okay. And the last one. So Rashan and Tayden, you guys were working on this one.
Just think, I just do my homework now because you kind of just do whatever.
It's the last question.
What's the last question? Is it like a therefore statement saying that it is the center of the circle?
Oh yes, thank you. Okay, so one last thing. Thank you, Layla. Naila, sorry. It does say certified, so you should write a therefore statement and say like, therefore this is a rectangle. Yeah.
Will we use a mark if we don't? Obviously, I would. Obviously, you're gonna forget. Yeah.
Try to, because remember all these you're trying to make a conclusion. Like you're not just blindly doing all the formulas. Okay, you're actually trying to get somewhere. Therefore, A, B, C, D does form a rectangle.
Okay, cool.
Okay, the last one right here. So Tayden, what did you say we had to do for this question?
You gotta find a midpoint of the slope for D.
Yep.
And then you gotta take the negative reciprocal of the slope.
Yep.
And then what you do is
You substitute it in y equals mx plus b. Yep. Yep. So you get b equals 0. You have m is negative 7. So when you put it together, your equation is y equals negative 7x. Okay. But that doesn't conclude anything. I found the equation of the right bisector, but that was not the question. What's my last step then? Yep.
You plug the center of the circle coordinates into the right bisector equation.
Right. Okay. So the purpose of doing this was to see if your center of the circle crosses your right bisector. So when you plug in 0, 0, you get left side equals right side. So yes, the center of the circle does go through the right bisector right here. Okay. And this is what I mean by the circle questions that you see on the test is all going to be at center 0, 0. Okay. And that was the review. Okay. How many of you finished the review?